Well, it's the last day of 2025. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get this video up today. So if you're seeing it from tomorrow, Happy New Year! And I hope 2026 brings you all the fortunes and many magical moments. Now, I wanted to quickly come to you because I have a feeling that this might be one of the best systems for tomato trellising, and yet nobody talks about it. So I wanted to talk you through, obviously there are a few ways to trellis your tomatoes. I currently have a system where I'm just running a big bamboo stake. It's 180 centimeters and that works really fine. However, there is one downfall to that, which I will talk about in a second. We've all had these guys, the cumbersome cone shaped staking system that I think most of us get when we buy our very first tomato. But unless it's a determinate tomato, these are kind of completely pointless. The system I'm about to show you is very similar in design to this, or logic behind this, but just ingenious in the way that you put it together. So here it is. I've set it up on one of my determinate tomatoes, but it is absolutely capable to be able to handle your indeterminates as well, because it is basically a click together design, so that all you need to do is just keep adding more poles as your tomato gets bigger. So it's from a company called Vevor, and I have bought quite a few things from this company. In fact, I think, and I should have double checked it, but I'm pretty sure that my double composting tumblers are from this company as well, so I highly recommend them. But I did a lot of research before buying these, and in fact this isn't my idea. I saw this on Gardening Florida, I believe it was. I will link her YouTube channel in the description because I thought it was absolutely brilliant when she described it. So when she actually showed her version, I did find that exact same company on Amazon. And originally it was sitting at around $65. And then when I went to actually purchase, because we were going into our summer, they had gone up to over $100. And I just thought that was a lot of money for, I think you get 4 in a pack. Maybe it was even 3, to be honest. This company, however, it is 4. So it is a lot more cost effective. I found them to actually be cheaper on eBay than the actual store themselves. But they do have offers a lot of the time. So sometimes it actually might be cheaper getting it from here, but they're $40 and I got them for $32 with a discount code that was running on eBay at the time. So basically it is just a pole system with a connector, and you can just go as high as you possibly want to go for your tomato staking needs. And you just build it up as your tomato gets bigger. Then it has these crossbars. Now, here's the thing. There's a very similar system at Bunnings, but the ones at Bunnings, the connector has only 1 clip, and this one has 3. So you can completely adjust it to your needs and the size of your tomato. So when they start off small, you can obviously have it just on the smaller ones and then increase the size to the last ones on the outer sides. And it just makes it so much more flexible for your needs of your particular plants. Also, with this one that I'm running at the moment, I haven't even put a lot of these crossbars on. I've only put it where it's actually falling, just to give it a little bit of support. Then as it gets bigger, you can take these off and just move them up the pole. It's absolutely brilliant. So the fact that you can go to 1.8 meters and beyond, oh goodness me, it's just a win-win. So the other good thing about these is, unlike these cumbersome things that you have to try and find some sort of space to be able to store them, this is one whole pack. So easy to be able to put away and not take up much space at the end of the season, but perfect for any trellising needs, not just your tomatoes, anything that you could possibly think of. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I mentioned I'm using these bamboo stakes. I used these last year as well. The one problem with these is my favorite connecting system, which are these little clips here, I can use on this archway, but it is too thick to be able to use on these bamboo stakes. Now, there are actually the thin pack, which would be a lot more cost effective, because from memory, these are about $7 each. And I think, I can't even remember what a pack was. So I could have actually swapped them out for the smaller ones, but I just find that when these plants get really big, this sturdiness really does come in handy as opposed to the thin ones that can blow over in the wind. So what I use to be able to hold up the tomatoes is just this little Velcro tape, but then you've got to cut it to size. So it is a little bit fiddly. I really do love these. But next year what we will do is we'll actually try one of those systems where you put a frame up and then you do the string line. And the string line works perfectly with these also, because when it's actually holding your tomato up, you can then put your little bit of string in the back part, and as you close it, it is completely secure on your string, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So I really want to try that system next year. The one tip that I did learn with the string line was from Gaz Oakley, and I believe he heard it from Charles Dowding, but it could have been Hugh Richards. And it is that when you actually plant your tomato into the ground, put your string in at that time so that as the tomato's roots grow, it will actually hold the string nicely taut in place as it's growing. So you can see that connector system works perfectly on this archway, and how I've had to use those Velcro ties on these large bamboo stakes. I don't know if you can hear that because I've got the microphone on, but there's a little honey eater, tiny little thing he is, having a bath in the little bird bath and completely living their best life. What I might do is just quickly show you how easy this is on this Tasmanian chocolate. So what I'm going to do is I'll try that 3 system, and as I said, you just grow it with your plant as your plant grows and your plant's needs. And obviously I don't need to go up to that 2nd level because it's only up to the 1st level at this stage. And then you just put this support on however it needs it, depending on the size that you've allowed. So I'm going to go on the widest setting, and it doesn't need the back ones because it's only falling forwards, so you don't even need to put these, but that just shows you how easy it is, and then it's completely collapsible and doesn't take up much space. So for the purposes of testing this properly, I have just put those 2 extra connectors on just to sort of see how it sits in that triangle shape. And I think it's brilliant how you can just completely maneuver that to make it work and grow as the plant grows. Because it's the last day of the year, I'm just going to do a really quick tour of some of the things in the garden. But look what we ended up getting. This kohlrabi. So it's so funny. When I took out all of the plants in this garden bed, I had planted some of these Brussels sprouts, and they were so teeny tiny, but then when I took everything else out and they were allowed to get some light and some space, we've now got 3 Brussels sprout plants with lots of baby Brussels in there, if you can see, which is absolutely amazing. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to take those out because obviously I've got to put in a lot of the summer crops still. I've only just done the topping up of the soil in this bed, so it is now level. I've given it a really good soak, and I am expecting that it will drop a little bit over the next couple of days, and then I'll just top it up. Actually, while we're here, I'm just going to get you to have a look at those pumpkin plants. So I've actually already topped them up once before, but look how much they have dropped. They have gone down a lot since I first planted them. I'm not sure whether it's a good idea now to disturb them again and put some more soil in, or just let them have their time to relax. But have a look at the ones on the other side actually. I'm not sure if you can see how much that one has dropped. It's a lot. Probably, 15 centimeters maybe. So yeah, I'm just not sure whether to disturb them or just let them go. Actually, this is the baby boo, and I only had the one seedling, and I put the other seed in the other day, and there you go. She's popped up and ready for action. So yeah, they're going really, really well. And we're just keeping them like this at this stage because I think they look really cool. We've also been able to eat lots and lots of these honey drops, have been ripening up over the last couple of weeks. So that's fun to finally have some fresh tomatoes in our salads. And this is my volunteer tomato, which I actually did have to put a stake in here because it was coming over the pathway. And I see that we've got our first blushing one in here. So I'm not sure what variety this is. I'm guessing it's just the red cherries that we had last year. They were absolutely my favorite. So more than happy about that. But I haven't been training this as an indeterminate because it sort of had more of a determinate kind of feel to it. But if it's one of those red cherries, it might need training eventually. But hey, it's free tomatoes and I'm here for it. The one other thing that I'll quickly mention, because we are on the topic of tomatoes, is I had, and I don't know whether you remember when I planted these, I mentioned something about, oh, they had a little bit of leaf curl and I didn't know what that meant. And I really didn't take it seriously. In fact, I had no idea that it could actually be the end of the plant. So I did some research, retraced my steps a little bit, and what had happened was I had actually put a whole heap of diatomaceous earth, sprinkled it over the top of all the plants in the greenhouse. This is back a few months ago. So this has set these poor tomato plants back, oh goodness me, probably by about 6 weeks, I reckon now. They are finally pushing new growth out, which looks beautiful. But if you compare this leaf curled stem to this new growth here, you can see I did a lot of damage. There's another leaf curled one as well. So thank goodness I didn't kill the plants. It was just a shock for them to have that product put directly onto their leaves. It draws all the moisture out. So this is a public announcement to, if you're going to use diatomaceous earth, to put it around the base of the plant and not in direct contact with these gorgeous leaves, because we've had to start all over again for these poor guys. As in pushing out new growth, not starting the whole plant again, thank goodness. And seeing as we've just gone through Christmas, aren't these delicious? These are candy cane capsicums. So fun. And one other little fun thing that I bought the kids the other day is this. It is Mr. Fothergrills, and it is a grow your own ice cream flavour. So this is passion fruit, and I've always wanted a passion fruit. Yes, I know, make sure you keep them in a pot because they are incredibly invasive. But isn't that just the cutest little thing? And all the different colours. If you want strawberry, it's obviously a pink little one. So absolutely adorable. Can't wait for those to finally grow. And one last little update. If you remember, these sun golds had that sort of like they'd been eaten, but a small little film of the leaf had been left intact. Well, I picked all of those affected leaves off, put them into this pot all the way down so that their actual roots are somewhere around here. So they covered the whole stem, and they are now doing so well. Lots of new growth. We've got lots of little tomatoes on there as well. So that was a win, and I can't wait to get these into the garden as well. So definitely check this product out if you're looking for an alternate trellising system for your tomatoes. I think it's absolutely amazing. I'll leave all of the details in the description also for you to be able to check out. So once again, Happy New Year to you. I hope everything is fantastic. Can't wait to keep you updated with some more things in the garden, especially how my hay bales are going. They are looking spectacular, by the way. But yeah, thank you for coming along on this journey, and I will see you in the next video. You take care, Happy New Year, and we'll see you soon. Bye.